Just being us, playing Pacers basketball, controlling the pace. The game being on our terms more times than not. I think that in game one they just controlled the tempo of the game, controlled the energy of the game, and we did a better job in game two of weathering that storm and being in control. So I think the biggest thing is just, controlling the tempo, if anything.
Defensively, you guys it was awesome watching you guys play at that type of level there. Give me your take on just what changed from game one to game two defensively for this team.
I think obviously attention to detail is important. We had a day in between the games where we, obviously got to get together as a team and, get on the court, and that helped. But I do think it's just, hard play kind of takes over everything. I think we're just playing harder. But I would hate to say that there was maybe first game jitters or anything like that. I don't really think that happened, but I just think that they made shots. We didn't, and they kind of had the momentum for the majority of the game, and we had to figure that out. So I feel like we kind of, flipped that switch game two.
All season long, you've bounced back from losses, I think 23-11 in the game after a loss. How do you have that same edge, though, after a big win?
Yeah, I think in some ways you got to bounce back after a win as well, when you're riding that high. Obviously, it's my first playoff win ever. A lot of us, our first playoff win ever. And, in that moment, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling like you're now in control. But it's 1-1, and it could swing any way at this point. So, as a group, we got to understand it's one game. And I think that the vets in our organization, that being Rick, Pascal, guys who have won at a high level, have preached that. It's just one game. Same way game one was just one game. So understand that, we got to have, that sustained, playing hard, all those things to have success.
Is Pascal adjustment proof? Just the way he plays, it's harder to just say you're going to throw two guys at him. What do you anticipate they will try to do?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, he's scoring the ball at a high level right now. They're kind of living with him taking those long twos, but that's what he does at such a high level. So, we're curious to see what they'll do. We have an idea of what they might do, and we'll be prepared to, adjust accordingly, and we're just going to continue to be who we are.
You mentioned after the game that you're looking forward to being in front of the crowd here. Give me your thoughts on that, and just how much are you looking forward to being here in front of these fans here in Indiana?
Yeah, I'm excited. Pacers haven't had a playoff, game in a long time, and this atmosphere I think is going to be really exciting for everybody. I grew up obviously in the Heatles era of watching the Gold Out with PG and those guys, so I'm excited to be a part of it. I always watch those games. You want to be there and feel that. Well, now I get to do that myself, so I'm really excited about it, and I think all the fans are as well. And it's a great time to be a Pacers fan, great time to be an Indy sports fan, so it'll be fun.
Drew is so soft-spoken, but in these games has been really competitive, really chippy. What stands out about that and how he fits into what a playoff series is?
Yeah, Drew is just, another guy that every team wants, a guy who plays that hard, defends every position, doesn't complain, just gets it done. And I think that, our attitude as a team, really has just flowed through everybody. Like you said, Drew is a quiet dude. He doesn't say a ton, but, we're coming to these games to fight, coming to these games physical, understand that this is high-stakes basketball, and we got to be ready to compete. That's all this is right now, is just competitors competing at the highest level.
I guess just kind of on that note, what's made these games chippy? Not only these, but the regular season games. You got a lot of friends over there. Aaron goes back with Chris 10, 15 years. There's a lot of friendships, but yet you guys, there's a lot of going after.
Well,
is it just basketball? Or?
Yeah, it's just hoops. It's just hoops. Bobby's my guy. I love playing with him in USA basketball. I think he would say the same thing about me, but it's competition when we play. We're all, highly competitive people. We're all here for a reason. It's a lot of testosterone out there going on. A lot of guys want to win, all that stuff. I think at the end of the day, it's competition. And, in an era that all that's ever talked about is how we're all friends, which they were 20 years ago as well. We're just competing at the same time. So I think that's the fun within the game. And obviously there's been some other things that have gone on in these games this year, but I think that brings excitement to it. And at the end of the day, it's just competitors competing.
Along those same lines, before the series started, you told me this is what fans love about the sport, is a series like this and competition like this. How much are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun being a part of it. I've always wanted to play in the playoffs and play in this high-level basketball, so I think it's just, it's enjoyable for everybody. I think that's what makes this game so fun, and we all play this at the highest level, so it's been a lot of fun for everybody.
Siakam said that it was interesting to hear him say, it's hard. These games are hard to win. By him saying that, is that kind of the message with this team here? How, you can't worry about game 5, games, you got to take care of one game at a time here?
Yeah, I think that's just something we've kind of preached as a group the whole year, basically. Winning is not easy.
Like, I think it's something that we all take for granted when you're young because we're all the best players where we're from, and the game just comes easy to us.
And, for me, it's my 4th year. I'm just getting to the playoffs for the first time. Pascal has obviously missed the playoffs last year. I don't know if they missed it 2 years ago. I think just last year. But we have a lot of guys who haven't won in some time, So it's important for all of us to understand, like, don't take this moment for granted. Understand that winning is hard. And, we're not looking forward to anything. We're just really taking this a day at a time. And that's really been what we've preached all year.
Up for a big game, and you've talked about being a competitor. How much as a competitor have you enjoyed the start to this series?
It's been fun. The atmosphere in these games is elite and the stakes are high, so it makes for fun basketball.
What's been the key to bringing that physicality, but also not fouling?
Yeah, I think just being attentive and understanding that you can't take any breaks and there's no seconds off guarding a guy like Dame. You need to capitalizes on any little mistake that you make, so you just got to be attentive.
How good did it feel to get the win on Monday, but now you're back home in front of fans? Sir, how much are you looking forward to that?
I'm really looking forward to. I think our fans are going to be electric. They've been wanting it for a while, and I think it's going to be a fun environment tomorrow.
Fourth quarter, they cut it to 4 in Game 2. You guys found another level all of a sudden to put the thing away. Just what did you see out of this group in the stretch run?
In the stretch run, I think our second unit was in there at the beginning of the fourth. We got a lot of stops. We picked up the pace. We were wearing on them throughout the game, and it showed up in the fourth quarter when we kind of capitalized on those mistakes that they made.
How much do you welcome the challenge of, I know it's tiring, but to deal with games that you deal with, game in and game out, how much do you welcome the challenge?
I'm definitely welcome the challenge. I think it's something that can only get you better, and it's positions you want to be in when you play this game. So it's a fun task for me.
What has been the key to what Pascal's done the first 2 games?
He's brought his poise and experience and breathed confidence into a young group in our group, and he's made plays for us on both sides of the floor. Just been a real calming guy in the locker room for us.
Can you anticipate what they might try to do to make it more difficult for him?
I can see them putting a couple people on him or changing up their coverages on him, but we'll adjust and play off that advantage, really.
Yeah.
Pascal's talked about not getting too high or too low. How do you balance confidence from that win with what you have to do going into Game 3?
Yeah, I think that's something that's big throughout a long season in the NBA in general. I think you need to manage your ups and manage your downs and just kind of be neutral throughout it all, and understand you got a task to do and you got to be in the moment and finish that task right in front of you.
What's made this, I don't want to call it a rivalry yet, but I mean, like, you guys have always been chippy with these guys. I mean, where does that sort of come from? Basically, obviously, there's been some interesting stuff happening in this series. I mean, like, what is it about the personalities?
Yeah, I think it's high stakes basketball. A lot of competitive guys want to win the game. It's going to get like that. You play in the park growing up, a bunch of talking going on, a bunch of physical hoops, so it's regular.
I want to ask you about Drew a little bit, and he talked about loving the competitiveness of his first playoffs, and he had some fearless moments with Dame, Beverly, all that. What does it mean about him, and how does it help the team when he has that kind of personality so quickly in his playoffs?
You have to be a great competitor in the NBA playoffs. I mean, there's no other choice. And he's been one of our toughest guys for 2 years. He's got a very tough assignment, guarding one of the best players on the planet. And it's a lot of work. And he needs to keep having the enthusiasm for doing the hard things. That's what the playoffs is all about.
He's very soft-spoken off the court. When did you first notice, whether that was watching his college tape or something, that he had that kind of fire in games?
Well, I mean, any situation you watch him in, he's going to hit the shit out of somebody pretty early on. And so, you find out pretty quickly. And, when he was a rookie in our training camp, he established that he was one of our most physical defenders on the perimeter. So, look, the series is just beginning. There'll be a whole lot of things going on. But his competitiveness has been very consistent, and we're going to need him to continue in that vein.
You mentioned just being impressed with Aaron's defense as well. I mean, how do you feel like he's on the Middleton assignment? That's obviously a guy he knows really well from Charleston and everything. He's both went to the same high school. Was it glad to see him in that matchup?
Middleton's a great player. Aaron's just trying to make it as tough as possible. And to do it and to avoid foul trouble is a big challenge. But we've really stressed the importance of showing our hands defensively, and we just got to keep him on the floor as much as possible when Middleton's out there, because Middleton is really one of the very underrated players, probably in the history of the game.
You preach so much about defense and how important it is to you and your team. And we saw on Monday night impressive effort by your guys. How vital is that the rest of the way here to keep playing that same level defensively?
I mean, we played at an intensity level that was necessary in Game 2, and I just believe we're going to have to keep increasing it as much as we can, and then sustaining it. We just it's a big part of who we are. When we're physical and make it a 94-foot game, it helps us at the offensive end as well. So it's hard work. I mean, it's extremely hard work. It takes a certain level of toughness and commitment. But for us, there's no other way.
Talk about Pascal and his experience, what he's brought to these first couple of games. Just what's the different level he comes with from minute one that is kind of the theme to get all 48 minutes out of your guys? He seems to be setting the pace.
Yeah, Pascal's experience in the playoffs helps a lot as we get into the guts of this series. I talked about it the other night after the game. I really would be repeating myself. He's experienced, he's always aggressive, knows how to get his shots. With the 2 games that he's had so far in the series, there's a reasonable expectation they're going to pay more attention to him with double teams and things like that. We'll have to be ready for that. But we just need him to play his game. And
It's not about Tyrese. It's about the entire team. What you saw on Monday night, how pleased are you to see that balance on all levels, defensively, offensively as well with your basketball team?
Yeah, I thought Tyrese did a great job defensively in Game 2. He ran the team. He hit some shots early, which was important. And as the series goes along, they'll make adjustments on how they're playing them. We've got to be ready to respond to those adjustments. He has to be ready. But we're a very short way into a very long series.
Over the course of all your playoff experience, I imagine you've experienced something like this before, where you're the team that's coming home that has to start the series on the road, comes home. Maybe it's been a while since you've been in the playoffs and had a crowd that's probably going to be really excited. It's important for teams to understand going into those situations, basically when you're coming home, you're riding some momentum, and it's going to be like this.
I told the guys today that there are endless cautionary tales about the road team winning Game 2 and coming home and not being able to respond the right way. And so we talked today about the things that we need to continue to do, and the fact that being home doesn't guarantee anything except a friendly environment. And oftentimes what you see is that the road team has a higher level of focus when they're on the road in that environment. So look, we can't wait to play this game with our fans in our building. But we've got to understand that we're the ones that are going to have to really get them into the game.
How excited are you to be back home here with a great opportunity here with home court advantage right now?
Yeah, it feels good. Obviously, first time for me in the playoffs here, so I'm excited for the opportunity to just go out there, play as hard as we can for the crowd. It's exciting.
How do you prepare and anticipate adjustments they might make to take the ball out of your hands?
I think just do what I do, just being a basketball player, and just playing off instincts and whatever is out there. That's what I'm gonna do. And I think that a good thing about my game is just it's off flow, so I just continue to do that.
I say your style of play, does it make it harder to just say you're gonna double or get the ball out of his hands because you can get it in a variety of ways?
Right. Yeah, I think it's an advantage for us. And again, we anticipate, they might make some changes, but for me, I don't think it affects the way I play. So just continue to do what I do, playing with our pace, and just making the reads.
You've been in this situation before. As a veteran player who's been in the playoffs, what is the message you share with the other guys in the team here, knowing you got a home court advantage, but it is a long series?
Yeah, no, I think we always got to remind ourselves who we're playing against. We're playing against an experienced team. A lot of championship caliber players on that team. So it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of attention to details, and it's going to be hard. And I said that after game one, it doesn't matter. It's one game. And the first to four is going to be the one that's going to win. So I think that's our focus got to be on that.
What changed defensively for you guys compared to what we saw in game one?
I thought we just played our game. We was more aggressive, and against a team as talented as they are, and us being a young team coming in hungry, wanting to prove something. We got to be the hard-playing team. So that should be our focus. Just continue to play hard, and again, we'll live with the results. But as long as we give everything that we have as a team, we go all out, we'll be okay.
What does it say about Tyrese? All the talk after game one that maybe he needed to shoot more, but then he didn't force it in game two and still got you guys involved.
Yeah, no, that's the type of player he is, and I think his strength as a player is just being able to see the floor so well. Obviously, we know how good of a three-point shooter he is, but we know that the other team is trying to stop him. So they're going to do everything that they can to stop him, and he's making the right reads. And there's going to be a game here or two where he's going to have his shots and he's going to take them and he's going to make them. So I think he just reads the game so well, and he's a good leader.
How good is it to know that you are going to be home on Friday? You got two back-to-back here, but how much are you looking forward to seeing these fans to support you guys? They've been great all year, seems like.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about it. Everyone show up. I want everyone to be as loud as they can. We're going to try to get them to get loud. So work hard with everything that we're going to guarantee is just that we're going to go out there and play as hard as we can and trying to get a win.